Welcome to the Global Sports Network. I am your host, Leo, alongside Ben for the second episode of the Connecticut PGA Tour Podcast. What's up, Ben?
Hi.
Let's just get into it. We're going to be doing some more golf talk. It's Wednesday. We'll be previewing the Wyndham, the last tournament of the regular season on the PGA Tour, and recapping the Rocket, where Michael Thorbjornsen was the champion. We'll just get into it with another non-sports update, something interesting that is happening other than in golf. Last week it was a crazy LeBron going to the Sixers. This week we got Tariq Skubal going to the Dodgers at this crazy trade deadline for a lot of teams in the MLB, and I don't know that there's going to be baseball in 2027 because the problem with the Dodgers without the salary cap. What do you think about this? And should there be a salary cap? And is it worth it to not have baseball next year?
You can't just get rid of a major league sport like that. But I mean, every team in the MLB should know that it's not really going to be a competition. The Dodgers are easily going to win, and they should for the next 3 years to come.
Unless somehow they get rid of the salary cap. I don't know. There's a way with having baseball next year, but we'll have to see. But you guys came here from some golf, and let's get right into it. Yeah, we got the Rocket just coming off. It was a great tournament down at Detroit Golf Club. The last ever Rocket Classic. It was much better. I know in the last episode I kind of talked about how it didn't look great on TV last year. I think it was better, but it's gone with the new championship, whatever series. It's gone. Meanwhile, it's gone. So just two takeaways. Some players that I thought that really stood out. Then I'll get to you, Michael Kim. Again, he's been having a great season in the first few rounds of tournaments, and I just saw him in the fast two tournaments really stepping up even after his first few rounds, doing really good. He's doing good again going into the final round. I think Michael Kim just really has emerged himself this season, and really excited to see what he can do in the playoffs. And Xander Schauffele, I know we talked about last episode how we didn't think he quite made the cut for the President's Cup team with the second at the Rocket. I think he's got to be on the team. He's just looking too good, and I don't think that Jim Furyk is going to not pick a guy with all the majors he's had and just his season so far this year. He'll be in the FedEx Cup. I'm sure he'll have a decent FedEx Cup playoffs. I think you can't have Xander Schauffele not on your team. Who are your few takeaways from the Rocket?
So my first one is I'm gonna say Ricky Fowler, someone we haven't seen him. He was good a couple years ago, but this year, and you can say maybe some parts of last year, he wasn't the best golfer, and we haven't seen him in the top of the leaderboard. And after the first round, finishing in second, and then dropping down a little bit, but still staying in that top 10. And I'm really proud of the way he played. And also, you talked about Xander Schauffele, who earned his way into the FedEx Cup. Another player who might have also done it, Ryan Gerard. Someone we did not say the best things about him last episode, saying that he didn't deserve to be in this FedEx Cup team. But after a top 10 finish at the Rocket, maybe Jim Furyk is also thinking about putting Gerard on the team. And also, I had two questions. Two questions about the Rocket Classic. One was when I was looking at the leaderboard, I saw Brad Dahlke. Everyone knows him as the YouTube golfer.
Totally.
Good, and I just saw him on that leaderboard, and I was confused about that.
Yeah, I think he had a sponsors exemption. I don't think it was his first one. They've done a few with YouTube golfers, Wesley Bryan, George Bryan, and the Butterfield Bermuda, but he had a sponsors exemption. He's probably one of the best YouTube golfers out there. Obviously, if you look at the scoreboard, he didn't have a great week, but Ryan Ruffles was also in it, another YouTube golfer, and I'm not sure exactly how it turned out, but he's also one of the top YouTube golfers. So yeah.
And also, one of my other questions was, what happened to Peter Molinari?
I'm not sure.
61 in round 1, and then I didn't see him on that top of the leaderboard the rest of the week, and I was just confused. What the heck happened to him after his great first round?
Yeah, I honestly do not know what happened to him, and yeah, I know. So let's just move on to the talk of the tournament. Really, Michael Thorbjornsen. He won the Rocket. He had a great tournament, and it just shows these young guys coming out once again 2 weeks in a row. Thorbjornsen at 24. He said he was actually he said if he would be lying if he didn't say he was a little jealous of a guy younger than him, Jackson Coyven, winning last week. And he said, it gave me some fuel to know that he won when he's way younger than me, and he has nothing against Jackson, but he just really got some fuel after the 3M, and now he's won the Rocket. He's one of the best players on TGL. And what are your takeaways from Michael Thorbjornsen's Rocket?
You remember last week when we were doing the miscut top 15 and the win, and I had Michael Thorbjornsen. I didn't have him winning, but I did have him making the top 15, and that was one of my underdog picks. You weren't totally convinced. You didn't not believe me, but you weren't totally convinced. And now look at him now. Great tournament. He's been playing. It's not like he's been playing great golf. It just he finally got that breakthrough and took home with the trophy. Overall, in Detroit, Thorbjornsen had a great tournament, and most people are really proud and happy about the way Thorbjornsen played through this day, especially in round 4. He wasn't really up there. He was towards the bottom of the leaderboard, and then making that push on the final couple of holes.
And what about that putt on the last? Yeah, totally. And I think everybody was happy for him. He's a really nice guy. Emerged as I don't know if you guys know, but I'm actually emerging in the drive, chip, and putt, which is a competition going up to Augusta. I got second in my local qualifier. Now I'm in sub-regionals. But Michael Thorbjornsen is actually a champion at Augusta. He's the only champion of the drive, chip, and putt tournament that has ever gotten an invite to the Masters. So fun fact about Michael. But yeah, he's really come in clutch for Boston Common Golf and TGL, and I think a lot of guys are starting to like him, even though he only is 24.
Leo, so we talked about players we thought were good, but I just want to say, we said Xander Schauffele and sort of Ryan Gerard sort of played their way on the FedEx Cup team, but Gerard, you could have said...
You mean President's Cup?
President's Cup, my bad. But someone who maybe dropped down out of that was Akshay Bhatia.
Bhatia,
my bad. Could not make the cut and could not play the weekend at the Rocket. And then he's going to have to be nervous after he saw 2 other people on that bubble line to make it in, after he saw them have good tournaments and that he couldn't deliver. So, I mean, Akshay, he's going to be crossing his fingers when hopefully getting that call from Jim Furyk. But after this tournament, no one is 100% sure that he'll be one of these last players on the team.
Totally, and Akshay has had a great year. He's one of the best players on the PGA Tour. He's always up there. He's one of the young guys really emerging. He won the Valero a few years ago, but Yeah, he's a great player, and kind of disappointing if we're not going to see him on a team like that. I haven't seen him ever on a team like the President's Cup, Ryder Cup. So I think that would be really cool just to see him in a match play format and see what he would do. He's one of my favorites. Meanwhile, Level Up Sports with Leo fans, just stay tuned for some content. I'm in Newport right now. We'll be going to the Newport Goals playoff game right now. Ben, where are you right now? We're not in Nantucket anymore.
Yeah, so I'm in our home state of Connecticut.
Oh, yeah.
Just at my house, but something to look forward to. Tomorrow I'm going internationally, and I'll be in Italy tomorrow until end of August. So that's something to look forward to. And I won't be here in Connecticut for a while. But fun fact about me, a couple weeks ago, I also went to a Newport Goals game. It was not a playoff game, but I was there, and I hope you have fun going to that game.
Oh, really? I'm actually going to be watching the broadcast. What the broadcaster for the Bristol Blues. I don't know if you remember him from Virtual, Isaac. Yeah. So he's the play-by-play guy. So I'm gonna be I think I might watch him do some play-by-play for the game. It's a playoff game. It's a super cool stadium. I don't even know. They have some animals on the field. Apparently, there's been incidents where there's been dogs, turkeys getting on the field because it looks like a really cool stadium. The house is right near it. And also, meanwhile, talking about our home state of Connecticut, and also one more thing. I don't know. You guys might not be seeing Ben on the channel after you saw that. Hopefully you'll be able to do it from Italy. But if not, yeah, the PGA Tour podcast will still be coming out every week, most likely, and just an update on that. And also, the Travelers named the on the Championship Series, the first tournament to be named the Championship Series, along with I think Torrey Pines event, which is now becoming the Century instead of the Farmers Insurance, and also I think it was the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill. They're kind of making that Championship Series, obviously now the premier event on top of the Challenger Series for the PGA Tour. So it's a really big deal for the Travelers, one of the best events.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited that our home course, the course, basically one of the only events we have in the entire year in Connecticut. And
or even New England, the only event in New England, and the only signature event in the Northeast.
I'm happy that we were going to be one of the 3 courses to get to do this and be this thing. But I mean, also it's going to be great. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's going to be great. And so I like our hometown course being compared to other courses like Bay Hill and Torrey Pines. That's really cool to see from a small state golf course, and just any golf course in the New England side. It's an area that's not usually known for golf, but here we are defining the New England is not a golfing place odds as we are doing this.
100%. When it's half of the winter, you can't even play golf. Half of the year it's the winter. So I think it's really cool, especially to be named the first one. Obviously, there's not just going to be 3. There's going to be way more. But being the first out of all these courses, it's just really cool to be compared to that. And super excited. I don't know if I'm totally up to the new Championship Series rules just because there's going to be a cut. There's going to be 130 players instead of 72 with no cut. Not sure how I like that. But let's go on with this podcast. And I never got to say what I thought about Michael, and I think I did.
Yeah, you did.
I'm having trouble remembering. Now we got the Wyndham. The Wyndham coming up. A really cool tournament. Always broadcasted well with CBS. It's the last tournament of the regular season. Always dramatic, especially seeing, like, I don't know if a lot of people watch the Wyndham, but it's like, oh, your projected ranking on the FedEx Cup on that line of 70. So a lot of people are going to be up there, and it's always a great tournament to watch, especially not just who's going to win, but who's going to make it to next week, who's going to make it to the next week, and who's going to make it in the top 30 to the Tour Championship. So last year Cam Young won, so kind of just speak on how the Wyndham has made some excitement in the past years as the FedEx Cup playoffs has been a thing in the PGA Tour.
It's one of the most exciting events besides for majors, as we go from the Midwest where we were last week to maybe normally then they have brown fairways, and now we're going to some of the greenest fairways in the world in North Carolina.
Totally.
One of the supreme golf areas / states in the world. So, and it's always so excited with those people who are around 70. They're the ones who are fighting all the way through, and it's really excited to see this cut line. And it's not like we're having a simple tournament. This is not really an ordinary tournament, but it's going to be really exciting as it has in the past years, and I'm excited to see who can make it around that cut line and who will take home with the trophy in Cigna Field. I think that's how you pronounce it. Cigna Field, North Carolina.
Yeah, that was a great point. I mean, one of the greenest areas coming from Minnesota, Michigan, and we talked about the bubble. We'll have some breakdowns of kind of that 70 bubble, and always guys trying to get in that 50 or 30 bubble if they can't play next week. But I think really the 70 bubble is really where player seasons are going to end, and I think the Wyndham is basically considered as a playoff event because people do go home from it, and I just think I'm really excited for it, and we'll have the bubble coverage coming up. But let's get into our miscut top 15 and win. And if you want, you can throw in a sleeper player there. Our daily, weekly, every Wednesday we got our top 15 miscut win. And Ben, you can start it off with your miscut.
Should we? I feel like we should do this. I don't think we've ever done this, but should we recap our picks from last week?
If I had to be honest, I do not remember my picks from last week.
Okay, we'll probably do that. We'll do that a different time. We might make a separate little video recapping what we did. But right now, I'm going to go. Let's start with my sleeper pick. Last week, I had two people I thought were going to win. This time, I have two sleepers. So what I have, a person who's the leader of a team who's going to be playing soon. His name is Brandt Snedeker. Last time he was in Carolina, or one of the last times he was in Carolina, he took home with the trophy in Myrtle Beach in the One Flight something Myrtle Beach Open. And I think when this next time around when he comes to North Carolina, he's not really playing for anything. I think he's in that bubble line, right? He's in that bubble line. He's still's got to have
no, he's not in the bubble line yet. I think he's 83.
So he does have a little to play with, and I think with that chip on his shoulder and not that much pressure, I think he could break through, maybe finding the top 30 or something. But for someone who's not supposed to have the best tournament in a tournament like this, I think that he could perform at a high level and be up there in the running to get on that leaderboard.
Could I go with my sleeper before, so we kind of just do 1-1, whatever? So I think mine was already. Also, meanwhile, sorry for the correction. For some reason, I was saying that Jim Furyk was the President's Cup captain. He's the Ryder Cup captain. The President's Cup captain is Brandt Snedeker, and Brandt Snedeker is also my sleeper. I had no idea that it was yours. I don't think this has ever happened where we had the same one And so Rich Snedeker was my sleeper. I think he's coming to the end of his career. I have to say that I did not have the same point about the North Carolina winning at Myrtle Beach, but I have to agree with that point. And also, I think he's trying to build some relationships. He would be going to the FedEx Cup event anyways, trying to build a relationship with guys he's going to pick for his President's Cup team. And also, I think that he's coming to the end of his career. He's like, why not try to give all his energy into this and try to get into the playoffs? And you never know what could happen from here. And I know that I doubt that because he's the captain, he's going to pick himself. But I feel like that would be a really cool story. If he made it far, if he made it to the Tour Championship, let's say he played great in this, he makes it to FedEx Cup, FedEx St. Jude, he makes it good in BMW, he makes it to Tour, at least, just makes it to the Tour Championship, gets in the top 30. I think he should pick himself for the President's Cup team, and I think he can have a great week. I think probably a top 15-ish is what's going to need to get him, depending on what happens with the other players to get him into that top 70. But I think he's my sleeper. What do you got for your missed cut?
Okay, I said earlier that I have 2 sleepers, so I'm going to tell you my other sleeper. But that was also a good point about Snedeker and picking himself. If he doesn't have a good tournament, this could be his last, maybe. But so my other sleeper is Marco Penge, a guy. He's been switching from DP World Tour and PGA Tour, played in a couple, had some good tournaments, and I think the way he plays, it really fits this North Carolina course, and I think that he could also make a run with Snedeker, and he's my other sleeper. And should I say my top 15, or do you want to go?
Yeah, you can, or you can say your miscut maybe.
Oh, miscut. Okay, my miscut was gonna be. It's gonna be Jason Day. Someone he's 75, I believe, on the cut line. He's performed in a couple majors, but we haven't really seen him up in not majors, and he hasn't really came home having some final rounds. And I think that Jason Day here, with the pressure on his shoulder, he hasn't really been under pressure that much in his career, not really being a favorite in that many tournaments. Or
I wouldn't agree with that, but
I'm not saying like in most.
I don't think he's ever had a season this bad to be on the bubble. Yeah. I'm sure he's had pressure trying to win a tournament, but I'm not sure that he had this much pressure knowing that his season could end. So that
I know. I'm just saying, he's been having a bad year. We've seen good from Jason Day, but this year is nothing but the opposite of good. And I just don't think Jason Day will turn his year around in North Carolina. I think he is my miscut.
Yeah, and if you want, you can just go on with your top 15, and then we'll wait for the win.
Okay. My top 15 is someone I picked him last week as my win, and I'm believing in him, but not in the win. I think that he'll definitely be in the top 15. I've got Cameron Young. Last year, winning in this exact same tournament, the exact same place. And I think the way he's played in this tournament, the way he's played this year, having a great year, I mean, he hasn't really delivered with the win. Last week, he got top 10, but couldn't get the win. And I'm expecting him to do the exact same this week, maybe even finishing in the top 5. And Cam Young is my top 15.
Okay, so I'll go with my miscut quickly. I think I gotta go with Ben James. I think he's way out of the bubble. I think he's trying to win the tournament, and I think his young mind and stuff like that, I think he's gonna blow up, and I just don't think he's gonna have a great tournament. Okay. Why are you making me that face?
Okay, who's your top 15?
No, but do you not think that Ben James is going to miss the cut?
I mean, it's just like I feel like this is. I think I'm believing with you. I agree that, but for someone who's you've been saying all year or not yet all year off camera and on camera that you think Ben James is gonna have is been good, and that's the first time I've heard you say something about Ben James. But I don't hate the take at all. It's just I'm shocked to hear that you said someone from our state, someone who's you've been saying good stuff about.
I totally want him to do good. I just think that guy that young in his first in his rookie season, I just think that he's gonna kind of not be consistent, and he hasn't been consistent. He's had some great tournaments, and I think he's gonna have a great sophomore season. I just don't think he's gonna do great in the Wyndham. And my other sleeper, my other sleeper is Jason Day, just for the reasons that I just said. I forgot my other sleeper, but I just think for the same reasons. I think he's been under pressure. I know.
He's your sleeper?
Yes, I just think he's kind of a sleeper. He's not had a great year, and I hate to say this once again. I know you got on me last week for saying that he's a nice guy, but he is a nice guy, and that's going to be the story of this podcast. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy.
Leo, guys, put it in the captions. Put it in the comments. Leo Cop judges every player if they're a nice guy. Come on.
I'll give a bit of a round of applause for that. So we'll have some of those effects in our first virtual episode. I know our last one was in person, pretty cool. Probably one of our last ever, but other than when it gets to play-by-play and travelers maybe even. And then my top 15, it's got to be Brooks Koepka. Brooks Koepka is he's had a bad year. I've got to say he's had a bad year. He's at 86 in the FedEx Cup. I'll get to him when we talk about the bubble. But I think he just really wants it. He's had a tough season. I think he's angry, and I think he wants to get into the FedEx Cup so he can have a great FedEx Cup because he really hasn't gotten into any signature events this year. I just think he's had a bad year, and I think he's going to come back with a great week at the Wyndham. I know he's played a lot down in Florida and in Carolina, kind of similar courses to Florida with the greenness, as you said earlier. And, let's hear your win. What's your win?
Okay. Yeah, I just want to say Brooks Koepka, I mean, he hasn't really shined, and I think he's also waiting for that moment to shine, and it could be this week.
So one of the legendary players. You can't count out him.
Okay, so my win was I had someone, he's a top 10 favorite, but someone who I really enjoy watching. He's one of my favorite players. This man, you can probably guess off what I'm about to say. This man wears sunglasses, whether it's raining or it's sunning or it's cloudy. Mr. Ben Griffin is my win. He's been playing good golf all year. He also had a pretty good Ryder Cup last year, when he got the call up. And I think that this week, he hasn't, in the past 2-3 weeks, he hasn't really been on that leaderboard, and I think that he was waiting for his time to sneak up that leaderboard and maybe take home that trophy. And I think that this time is now for Ben Griffin to win his tournament that he's been waiting for all year. And I think the Wyndham Championship is his chance to win, and he is my win.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Ben Griffin had a great year with a bunch of wins last year, and I just think he's a great player, and he hasn't had a great year this year, but I think he can definitely do it. And you like my drum roll there? So drum roll, please, for my win. Michael Brennan. Michael Brennan, he's had a good year. he's been up there a lot. He's a young guy. He had T6 at the Charles Schwab. He was up there a bunch at the Rocket, the 3M Open. And I just think he's really waiting for it. A young guy who really has had a great year. He had a great year last year, coming off in the FedEx Cup fall at the big I did not say it. At the Big of Utah Championship, and he had a T2 at the Grant Thornton Invitational. If you know what that is, that's the men's tournament. Also in the FedEx Cup fall, he really emerged in that FedEx Cup fall, and I just think he's really due for a win. He hasn't had really. I don't think he's ever won before. Oh no, he has won. I just said he won. Never mind. Yeah, he hasn't won in the regular season yet, and I think he's due for it, especially with his top 15 consistent weeks recently. And if not a win, I think he has to have a top 15. And let's get on with it. What do you got about Michael Brennan?
Yeah, I really like that pick. Last week, he was. If I could pick two sleepers last week, he was my other sleeper or one of my top 15s, and I really like the way he's been playing all year. And I also, what you said, he's due for a win. Last week he was on the leaderboard all the way through, mostly all the way through, and I was really impressed about the way he's played, not just last week but also throughout this season. And I really like the take of Michael Brennan finally breaking through in the last event of the year.
Yeah, I had to agree with you. Obviously, I just said it, but yeah, I think totally those points. He has to emerge in the last event of the season. I don't know why I'm saying emerge so much. So going on to Live Golf, it's a talk of a lot of people. They have to be their last year. I think they're done with the funding from the Saudis. I'm pretty sure. So this week they're in Bedminster, New York. Trump's course, Trump National Bedminster, and I think that they're done, and I think that really the talk is not anymore if they're going to be done. I think they have to be done. Their tournaments, like the fan experiences, have not looked as great because they're done with the funding, and I think they have to be done. But my question for you is, do you think that these live guys should be let on the tour next year?
So yeah, I agree. Live is done. I've seen when I go online and you look up Live, I see more stuff about practice rounds than actual tournaments. When I look up Live, just not really fans and not really just people showing up. So they're definitely done. But sort of what I think is, I think there should sort of be maybe like you can say like a tournament, an evaluation, or maybe just a tournament with other PGA Tour players. And I think they shouldn't just be let on. You can't just say, oh, yeah, you just get back on the tour. I think they have to earn their way back onto the tour. They knew Liv was not going to be – most people probably knew that Liv wasn't going to go on for ages. So they made that decision to go to Liv. I think they should have a chance to be let on the tour, but they have to earn it, and they have to like compete and do something and complete something to be let on the tour. They shouldn't just be allowed without a they can't are not earning it.
Yeah, I believe that I think behind the scenes, I wouldn't be surprised if PGA Tour and even tournaments are trying to talk with these live guys at majors and stuff like that. But I think they will have to be let on. I think some premier guys, Bryson, John Rahm, Joaquin Neiman, Cam Smith. Let's just say that there's more. I'm forgetting Dustin Johnson. I just think that they should have a similar way, the same as Brooks Koepka. Maybe a little less leeway, like a little harder of a way to get back on as Brooks, because Brooks came on a year earlier. But I think kind of similar thing to that, not getting into the signature events, having to play in little tournaments at the beginning of the season to try to make their way on. And I think guys like that, Bryson, stuff like that, should have to play in little tournaments like that. And I think eventually they should be let on, and I think the other guys also should be let on, maybe with a different pathway, since there's so many of them. But I think they should definitely have a punishment because what they did is really wrong. One of the legendary leagues, the PGA Tour, and they're leaving that for money when they've already made so much money throughout their career, most of them. So I just think you got to give them a punishment. But you can't not let them back on. That would just be terrible. And especially with Jay Monahan not on the PGA Tour anymore, with leaders. What's up, Chase? With Jay Monahan not on the leadership team at the PGA Tour, I think Brian Rillap is going to let all these guys back on.
Well, I also wanted to say I agree with what you said, but I think they play the first 5 tournaments, some of these literal guys, and even some of the big guys, if they can't make the cut in like not one of those, then I think they don't deserve to be on the PGA Tour. They should deserve to be on maybe the DP World Tour or Korn Ferry.
I think they're already. Some of them are already on the DP World Tour.
Yeah, but I think if they can't make the cut, like we both agree that they should have to play in the little tournaments and sort of earn their way on, and not make it in without something earning. And I think if they do bad, you're not letting them on. I don't
think that you're not going to let them on forever. I agree with that, but
yeah, not forever. But
I think maybe just for the season, and after this season, I know they're going to a full new look in 2028 with the championship, the Challenger. I think that part of why they did that is to put the LIV guys on the Challenger series, and I wouldn't be surprised if the LIV guys are not allowed to play in 2027 next year. And I think they're going to maybe be let on the Challenger Series and earn their way up to the Championship Series. I wouldn't be surprised if that's why they did those 2 series. And what do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with that. They should, yeah. And I also agree with, like, in 2020.
Suspended? Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. Suspended for a year, just like they said, they're not going to let them just like they're not going to Guys, I think there's some technical difficulties with Leo. So he should be back soon. But right now, it's only me. Because I don't see Leo on my screen where we are. And I think Leo left or something. But I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now, because Leo is usually the one running the show. We were supposed to talk about the Solheim Cup, the women's event, but I think why not let's talk about something. Wait, I don't know what I want to talk about. Let's talk about
Oh, shoot. Oh, hi, Leo.
Oh, we're back on. I'm not sure. Ben? Sorry, guys. Some technical difficulties. Gotta call Ben. At least you see behind the scenes. What do you see on your computer?
I see your face and I see everything, but my screen's black, and whenever you try to speak, I can't hear you.
Okay, try to join back. Should
I leave and join the link again?
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep talking.
Okay.
This may be cut out eventually, but if it's not cut out, sorry you have to sit through this. Maybe just skip through it. What I was saying about Liv is, as Ben re-entered the studio. Ben, what's up?
Hello. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, guys, if you're watching the video, obviously you haven't seen it already, but if you see that, you kind of just skip through it. Hopefully we'll be able to edit that out. Sorry for that. But what were we at? Liv.
You were saying something about Liv Golf, and then you cut out fully.
I was saying that, they should be suspended for a year, and then they can be let back on when they put up this whole new look. And with Brian Rillop coming in from the NFL for full new perspective, I think he's going to really bring in that perspective. And I think with that, people are a little bored. Let's move on to a new segment. And guys, really sorry for that. As we move on to the Solheim Cup preview, as the Europe roster was just announced for the Solheim Cup. The Europe roster we got on the screen right now, as you see, we've got as the captain Anna Nordqvist. Then we've got Charlie Hull, Esther Henseltit, Lottie Woad, Maha Stark, Celine Boutier, Carlotta Singata, Lynn Grant, Nana Kortz, Matson, Leona McGuire, Julia Lopez Ramirez, Natasha Nada, and Mimi Rhodes. So there's a few captains picks that Captain Anna Nordqvist announced for the Europe team. And I know we're not totally big LPGA people, but I know two people I think you might know as well, Charlie Hull and Lottie Woad. So I think this should be an interesting roster. And what's your take on the roster, just real quick? I know you don't know a lot about the Europe.
Yeah, I do know more about the U.S. roster, but as we know in Ryder Cups, in the men's Ryder Cup, U.S. does not really have that much success. But in women's, they'll probably have more. But this Europe team is still strong, and this is probably going to be close. It's going to be closer than men's Ryder Cups we've seen. And I think that both teams are strong because, I've seen also the U.S. team led by Nelly Korda and Charlie Hull on the other side. Those two will be battling out, and I think it'll be a good game, a good tournament, I should say. So I think both teams are you can say stacked. And so I'm not a big LPGA guy, but I know a little bit, and I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, totally. And I know a lot of people on the LPGA Tour emerging just happen to be from Asia and places around there. And I think that they really need a President's Cup style forum for the women's, because they don't have a President's Cup replica for the women's. They only have U.S. versus Europe. I think they should have U.S. versus everybody except Europe, and I think that would be a better match. But I think this Europe team could definitely fight with the U.S. team, and the U.S. team is not assembled yet, but here's the projections on the screen. We have Nelly Korda, so first the top 7 on the LPGA rankings. We've got Nelly Korda, Angel Yin, Jennifer Kupcho, Austin Kim, Allison Corpuz, and Yelimi No. And then for the top 2 on the women's world golf rankings, so this is kind of their qualifier for the U.S. team. So the top 7 is LPGA. Then the world golf rankings, we got Andrea Lee and Lindy Duncan in the top 2. And what's your take on that? And then both of us, since the U.S. team is not announced until August 24th, we'll make our 3 captains picks. So what's your take on the team projections, except for the captain's pick?
So captain, Nelly Korda is going to be strong, along with other top 10 players, top 20. This team is definitely stacked, and I think U.S. on paper, they're the best golfing nation in women's golf. I wouldn't say the same for men's, but for women's, yes. And we're talking about captain's picks. I want to dive right into mine, if that's okay with you.
Yeah,
Leo.
totally. 3 captains picks.
So mine are, it's gotta be Roseanne. She's been a couple years, she's been top. Sometimes she's one of few golfers that's in PGA Tour 2K on the women's side of things.
Wait, can I say something real quick? I don't watch a lot of LPGA except for the majors and stuff like that, and that's totally the only reason why I know Roseanne, except for watching her on the majors, because I play with her on LPGA, PGA Tour 2K.
Yeah, I just saw her, and I was like, and once I saw her name on the captain's picks projections, and I saw her PGA 2K, I know this girl is a stud, and I still know she's a stud, and I think she has to be one of those captain's picks. My other one is Lexi Thompson.
I'm starting to think that we have the same 3, but yeah, go on.
So I think she's a top player. She's been good all the way through, and I think that she's a really good golfer. A really good golfer. She's been good. And I don't know if ours is the same, but my final one is Megan Kane. I think that's how you pronounce it. I have the sheet of the projected players out in front of me, and those were the 3 players who caught my eye when I did some research, and I remember what I saw in majors. I think Megan Kane, she's a good golfer, and I think that people with last names that end in I think the 2 people, Lexi Thompson, and the 2 people whose last names have HANG as the 4 last letters, I think those will be my players. Those are the players on my team.
I didn't even realize that.
And I think that they have to be my picks.
Yeah, I have the same 3. I think on my sheet that I was looking at, it was about 5, and I picked those 3. I picked the 2 hang girls, and then Lexi Thompson. So for Roseanne, same. I've seen her in the game. I think she's been up there in a few U.S. Opens for the women's side, and I just think her young energy is going to really bring in some energy in this match play format. And then Lexi Thompson, I think she also is in, I'm not sure if it's either EA Sports PGA Tour, Road to the Masters, or PGA Tour 2K. She's in one of those. So I saw her from there too, and she's a veteran player. She's been in the Solheim Cup before, and I think you can't not pick her if she doesn't get in. And then Megan King, I know she's kind of on the bubble, and she could possibly get in to the automatic picks. So I think if she's not an automatic pick, you got to go with her. She's been in so many Solheim Cups, and she's performed so well in the match play format, and you got to go with veterans, especially veterans who have played in the Solheim Cup before and can kind of help get players with young energy like Roseanne, who have a lot of energy but don't have the experience. I think just those 2 in general, the 2 hangs, Roseanne and Megan King, will really benefit from each other with the young energy and the veteran experience going both ways. And yeah.
I don't. You probably know what course it's going to be played at.
I think it is somewhere in the Netherlands. I've not heard of it before.
Oh yeah, it is in the Netherlands, Amsterdam, I think, somewhere. But I mean, I'm excited to see what all these players can do in the Solheim Cup.
Yeah.
And those are just I think those are the players who can stand out. And overall, I think besides Nelly Korda, these captains pick could be at a higher level and play better than some of the people who got in automatically.
Yeah, I mean, just based off knowing their names, definitely. I know these girls, way better than the others, and I think it should be interesting and I think a close Solheim Cup for the women's side compared to the Ryder Cup for the men's side, and this year it's President's Cup, but I think they definitely need a President's Cup style event for the women's side. As we move on to our FedEx Cup bubble talk, so FedEx Cup bubble, obviously we've talked about it with the Wyndham, basically the FedEx Cup bubble event. And I'm just going to ask you a few guys. I'll give my take first. I'm going to give you, 5 guys. I'll say my take for all 5. Then I'll just say my take for the guy.
I think we're doing. I think what I have planned down and what we both planned was we're doing if we think we're going to make them from 65 to 75.
I think just due to time constraints, I'm just gonna give you maybe a few guys, and I'll just start with Brooks Koepka. Do you think he's gonna make it in the top 70? I think he'd do, obviously, with what I just said about him getting in the top 15.
I actually think no, but he's definitely in my top 2 out. You said he's gonna win. I don't hate it. I think he's gonna finish around. He's definitely gonna make that cut, and I think he could finish at around 30. But knowing at the place he is right now, if these other people at the top perform pretty well, with only finishing at around 30 won't be enough to get him through. So I think just if right now he was in the 70 numbers, then yes, I would. But because of the position is in right now, I don't think so. But he's one of my first mans out.
Yeah, I mean, I think personally he's just going to make it in, but I'll agree with that as well. And next one, Brent Snedeker. We also happened to talk about it earlier. You had him. What did you have him?
I had him.
Do you think he's going to make it in the top 70?
I do, because what I said is I think he's going to do a tiny bit better than Brooks Koepka, like a little bit more, like like around 20. But he's 3 positions ahead of Koepka, and I had Koepka in my top 2 out, and now I have Snedeker in one of my last 5 in. And I think that, yes, he does make it.
Yeah, I also have him as one of my last in. Next up, Jason Day. I have him barely making it, just at 70. I think his experience, as I said earlier.
I would not agree with that, because I said before he was my miscut take, and he's at 75. And when you miss the cut in that position, you're not making it in. But so he's going to move down, I think, 1-2 rankings. But overall, no for Jason Day. And also, I just want to say something. I'm looking at the bubble line, and I saw the bubble line, and at 70, I saw Jackson Koiven, and my mind was absolutely blown. If Koiven doesn't make it,
yeah, that's actually the one I was about to get to, but one before that, Keegan Bradley, he's at 72. My take is that he does not make it. I just think with all the guys that I've already said behind him that are going to have great tournaments, I just think that all the guys are going to come up behind him, and he's going to have – I think he might make the cut, but just barely, and I think he's not going to be able to make it in the top 70.
So you said no, but I'm going to say yes, because my prediction is – he's going to make the cut by probably about like 1 stroke. But I think there's other people in front of him that are going to miss the cut, and knowing the position that he's only 2 positions back of that bubble line, that I do think that Bradley will make it in.
Yeah, at 72, it's hard to say he won't make it, but I just think he's had a bad season this year, and I don't think he's going to quite make it. Last one we're going to talk about, Jackson Koiven. If he was any other guy who was 21 or around that age, I would say he's not a veteran. He doesn't have the experience with that pressure with his season on the line. But Jackson Koiven is a different guy. He's a different, just young player, and I think he has that composure as he did with Scotty coming at him at the 3M, and I think he's going to easily make it. And I was surprised that he was even at 70 in the bubble with how good he played at the 3M.
Yeah. I had 2 players I had one player I wanted to talk about, because when I'm going through the list, I see Ricky Costello at 66.
Castillo.
I know he's going to make it. He's had a great year, and he's going to have a great tournament.
Yeah, he already won earlier in the year.
I'm looking at is at 65, someone who's had a couple good tournaments here and there, but he hasn't been great as of recent. Yeah. It's Aldrich
Potgieter. Aldrich Potgieter. He hits the ball so far, and I'll agree with you, but let's try to get moving on. And I also agree with Potgieter. Going on, it's time for Ben's favorite time of the podcast, and I think my probably favorite time of the podcast as well. We've got Ben's fun fact of the day, and I'm sure that our fans are pretty excited for it. Fans, you got anything to say about this? Ben, let's just get right to it. Who is your what's your fun fact of the day? Last week, Bob McIntyre, super cool fun fact. I actually did that flipped on YouTube Shorts earlier, and I thought that was a crazy thing that he went to McNeese. What's your thing? And let's wait for the drum roll. Your fun fact is?
So I want to give a little detail about this. So sorry about that, but so last week, this one's not going to be as interesting, but trust me, you might think the first ones are going to be, then trust me, all the way through this podcast, there will be good ones. This one, many of you might know, but Mickelson, he throws, he colors, he does everything besides golf with his right hand.
Oh.
He is a righty. He was born a righty, does everything with a righty besides golf. We all know he plays as a lefty, but Phil Mickelson is not a righty. He is a lefty.
That's crazy, and I wonder what would happen if he tried to hit a golf club righty. He probably had when he kind of started golf, just because he is a righty, and that's a pretty cool fun fact, Ben. And I think that's all we got for today. But that was a great fun fact, and maybe we won't be having Ben's fun fact in the next few weeks, depending on if he's in Italy. He still could be on the podcast, depending, but with the time change, stuff like that. Don't be surprised if you just see me, but the podcast most likely will be happening, and the fun fact still will be happening if there is a podcast, and I'll find a fun fact. So that was a great.
I can send you one of my fun facts.
Okay, I'll read it for you, and it wouldn't be the same, this podcast, only in the second episode, but still wouldn't be the same without Ben's fun fact of the day. Thank you so much, Ben, and this was a great second podcast, and any final thoughts?
Guys, don't forget, keep watching. We'll be here next Wednesday. I might not, but Leo definitely will, and I'm going to try everything I can to be here. But so, guys, keep watching. Don't pull away. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And hope you guys join the pod again and come back next time.
Yeah, definitely come back and come back next Wednesday. Mostly every Wednesday is the golf season, a very cool sport that the golf season is really going year-round with the FedEx Cup fall, the Ryder or President's Cup this year. But it really goes year-round, and we'll be having this every Wednesday. Sorry for the technical difficulties earlier in the episode, but thank you so much, and come back next Wednesday, definitely. But alongside Ben Redman, for the second ever of the only Connecticut PGA Tour podcast on the Level Up Sports Network. I'm your host, Leo, saying so long from the Level Up Sports Network.
Leo!